What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Blind Power. So today I want to talk about LiDAR, light detection. It's a sensor that allows for light to bounce off objects. Now, the new iPad Pro 2020 and the upcoming iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max are rumored to come with the LiDAR sensor. The iPad Pro 2020 already is out with this sensor. I'll be for those who are sighted or partially sighted, I'll be posting pictures in front of me while I talk. So if you look at the screen, you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's start off with LiDAR. So it bounces objects. It bounces light off objects, meaning you can get metadata from these objects. So you can get the distance and other more precise information. What is this good for? Well, I'm working on an app that it'll essentially do something really cool. Let's just hint. You can kind of get rid of your cane. That's what the app is aimed to do. But I'm not gonna give any more information than that because I don't want anybody stealing my idea. That'll be coming out by the end of the year. Once I get my hands on the iPad with LiDAR, then I can have the app ready to launch with the new iPhone by the end of the year, hopefully. But that's I need to hire a C engineer for that, because that's a lot of math. But that I'll be working on that project hopefully this year. By the end of the year, it'll be ready. That's my goal. So besides my project, what is LiDAR useful for? So Apple claims augmented reality. Their Measure app is a lot more accurate on the new iPad Pro 2020 because the LiDAR sensor essentially allows for actual physical world measurements. So you can detect how far something is in the real world versus the previous Measure app, like on your iPhone 11 Pro and on your other devices. It uses like a weird AI frame detection to detect how far something is based on the frame and some off calculations that they do. So with LiDAR, that's one of the uses Apple claims. However, for accessibility, because of the depth perception and distance for objects, essentially with LiDAR, you can detect how much light is around you. So perhaps if you're light sensitive and you walk out in the morning, you can walk out with your eyes closed and you can see how much light is outside. Your phone can tell you, okay, and you can remember, it's too bright, or it's dark, or whatever. You can tell if a light is on or off in your room if you're totally blind. All these things can be done using LiDAR, because it's light detection. There was ways to do this with the Ambient Sensor. It's very similar technology. Ambient Sensor is a way more primitive way. So you could do light detection with Ambient Sensor, but you couldn't do more fancy stuff like object distance detection and metadata from the light surrounding your area that are bouncing off each object. The Ambient Sensor used to be used for certain accessible apps until Apple banned the use of the Ambient Sensor. I don't know why, but that was a really cool way to make apps accessible. But now with LiDAR, we will hopefully get a lot of that freedom back for making accessible apps that detect light and can do really cool stuff with the metadata of objects based on light detection. Now, there is issues with this, so if it's really, really, really dark, it may not work as well. But, there's limitations to this LiDAR sensor, but, you can detect depth. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with this, and in accessibility, especially, for example, in the blind and visually impaired world, a lot of stuff that, for example, you may not have depth perception. The app can tell you if, essentially a LiDAR sensor, you can program it to tell you if there's a certain amount of depth. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with the LiDAR sensor based on light detection. You have to get creative with the metadata you get, but basically whatever you can do with the metadata from light bouncing around to your phone to whatever objects, you can do a lot of cool stuff like that I'm working on, which I'm very excited and I wish I could say. But there's a lot of really cool potential with this LiDAR sensor. Self-driving cars is a huge example. Tesla and other car companies use LiDAR to detect the distance from cars to another, and they'll even show you. Of course, you can't compare the sensor on the a new iPad and future iPhones to the one in these Teslas. These Teslas can see cones in the streets. They can detect where there's a cone, traffic light. They can do all these things, and these things are using LiDAR, and that's how they can detect cones on the street. They can detect pedestrians, and it's really cool what this sensor can do. So imagine doing really cool stuff with the sensor on your phone or on your iPad. For example, in augmented reality, you can have objects look like they're in front of you. Like if you touch an object with the LiDAR sensor, it'll know, okay, this object is supposed to be flat, and it'll flatten to whatever surface. So a lot of potential with this LiDAR sensor, and I'm quite excited to start tinkering with it. I have to sell my iPad here. I will do that soon. See, this iPad only has one camera. The new one has three. Yeah, three cameras, so it's a little more beefier camera hub, but it's all worth it. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to get my hands on the LiDAR capable iPad to start working on that app. But there's a lot of really cool stuff. I'm gonna make prototype apps that I can show you guys and kind of do videos on that. Like, hey, I can detect, this is the metadata I can get out of objects. So, the metadata I can get off objects, I'll be doing like videos. Oh, this is how much metadata I was able to get. Show the metadata. See what we can do with that metadata. I want to make a video on that once I get my hands on it, because I feel like for the consumer, it'll be interesting. You guys will be able to see what the potential is of it. For developers, programmers in general, you'll be able to be like, oh, this is exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on it. But there's so much we can do with these new technologies. And yeah, I mean, it's a cool technology. It's in Teslas. It's in self-driving cars. It's in robots and factories. It's everywhere. And in the self-driving industry and automotive, like things that are robotic by themselves, so require less human interaction. All these things use LiDAR. And with the new iPhones at the end of the year coming out with LiDAR, the new iPad having LiDAR, there's a lot of potential. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, rate, subscribe, and stay tuned. Quarantine content. I want to make more content, and we're almost at 700 subscribers, and I thank you for your support, even though it's been hard for me to make more videos because of how my job's been consuming a lot of my time. But now with quarantine time, we're all quarantined in our homes, I want to make more content, and I think I want to get more serious with this whole YouTube thing because I like it, and it would be cool to basically live off of this awesome platform. So, slowly growing. I watched a video today that kind of motivated me to continue, because I'm like, man, the progress is slow but steady, you know what I mean? So, I thank everybody for your support. Hopefully when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll do something special, and we'll see. I mean, I want to do something different for 1,000 subscribers. Maybe do a live stream, give something away. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm so glad to still be here making videos and still be getting the support. You know what I mean? And also another update. I am updating my Braille app, and stay tuned for updates on the app coming in the next couple months. I have a huge update I will be making that it's basically going to bring the app to the Apple TV for schools, so that if you're a Braille teacher and you're teaching sighted people Braille, you'll be able to display it on the TV in your classroom projector or whatever, instead of having to cast what's on your phone to your TV. So, and iPad support, lots of new things coming up. I'm working hard on this app. I'm trying to get as much stuff done. I do have to do more like stuff like Nimith and I've had a lot of requests for more features. So slowly but truly, that app is growing steady, and the downloads are doing great as well. So thank you everybody for your support there. So hope you guys stay safe during quarantine. This whole virus situation, I know we'll be over it soon, and the world will change. Hopefully for in technology's sake, it'll change for something new. Maybe the world's gonna be a lot more digital than it used to be, and yeah, I mean, out of everything bad, something always comes out of it. So, see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hit the subscribe button and remember to enable the notification bell to get all notifications of Blind Power uploads. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.